something is happening. Blasts are happening. Blasts कहाँ हो रहे हैं? Blasts तो Trident, Oberoi Trident में हो रहे हैं, ताज में हो रहे हैं, Leopold में firing हो रही है. Somebody and there was a rucksack. That rucksack खोला हमने, तो उसमें there were 7-8 magazines
of AK-47.
AK-47, all loaded. Two of the boys, they went inside that room where the terrorists were sitting.
So once again, very good morning, sir. Thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to have you on this show of Valour Diaries. So to give you a small introduction, so here are a fashion and an apparel brand who are celebrating the heroes of India, who are celebrating the true meaning of patriotism, courage and valor. Sir, globally there are many brands who celebrate the exemplary display of courage of their forces. There are many brands in America, there are many brands in UK. Unfortunately, in India, until now, we didn't have any brand which did that. We are catering to the audience who not only are very patriotic, they are very adventurous on their day-to-day lives. They like to take extreme adventures. They like to live their life on the edge, as we like to call it. These are the kind of people who get goosebumps while they hear the national anthem. These are the kind of people who just get up whenever they see a soldier. And so we've heard and read a lot about you, but we wanted to hear directly from you, and it is an honor to have you on this show, let me tell you, sir. And our viewers are really looking forward to hearing you, getting inside your head and understanding a soldier's mind. And so thank you for being here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anish, for being the host and calling me over to your meeting. Thank you so much.
So to start with today's show, we would, as you know, in this month we are, it's marking the 15th year of the horrendous attacks on 26/11 and Operation Black Tornado um, that we had done and the Indian forces had done for it. So before we get into that, we just wanted to speak a little bit about you and how it all started. How did we get here? How was the childhood like? How did you choose to go into the forces? And हम यहाँ तक कैसे पहुंचे, sir? Just wanted to understand that.
Going back to my childhood and reaching here is my whole life story, in fact. So to start with, I would say that I belong to Himachal Pradesh. The district is Hamirpur, and being from Hamirpur, you would be very pleased to know, that a large number of people, almost one per family, joins the defense forces.
Okay.
And Hamirpur, yes, and Hamirpur is one of the districts in the country that sends the largest percentage of people into the defense forces.
Wow,
And more so in the army.
wow.
I wanted to be a little different, and so I chose Navy as my top priority. And towards that, when I was around 11 years age, I appeared for entrance examination of Rashtriya Indian Military College, Dehradun. And it's an all India basis exam, a tough exam. And only one child per state is selected to join that school.
Wow.
So at that time, that was in January 75, when there were 22 states. And we have 10 terms there in the school. So total strength of the school was 220. And from there on, my journey started actually. Wanted to join Navy, learned the tricks of being together, helping each other, bonding with each other, learning to take decisions and quick, prompt decisions all by yourself at that young age, motivated, helped me join the Navy.
Awesome.
And from there, after having done my schooling in RAMC, I went on to join DAV College, Chandigarh for my graduation. And I loved outdoor activities more than anything else. And I became the boxing captain of the college and started doing various other adventure activities. Cleared my graduation, joined Navy after giving my CDS examination. And thereafter, for 1.5 years, we trained as cadets. On 1st of January 1986, I got commissioned.
Wow.
as acting sub lieutenant. Then we did about a years of technical courses for 1 year. And that is the time I saw technical courses are, various kind of specializations, sub-specializations. You are, taught the nuances of the Navy, engineering, electrical, gunnery, anti-submarine warfare, diving, etc., etc. And that is a time when I saw some officers being trained as that time they were called as Special Action Group. They had just formed that. That was in 1986. I was absolutely enamored seeing those people, and not only me, everybody in the entire command, that is the Southern Naval Command, where they were training in Cochin, looked up to them that they are something. That is the time I decided, let me join Marcos. That is a place that I want to be. And that is where my Marcos journey started from.
So, you said you always wanted to join the Navy. Why Navy, sir? Why? What motivated you to join Navy and not Air Force and or not Army at that point?
Like I said, I come from district Hamirpur, and most of the people are joining the army.
Correct.
I wanted to be a little different. I wanted to do things differently. So that was the main issue.
And sir, I believe, sir, we, just last week we were having a discussion with Commodore Vijay sir, and we had a in-depth discussion, and he told us how difficult it is the training period for any special forces or for a Marcos. So, just wanted to hear about your experience, during Hell Week or during the other time training for Marcos, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the Marcos have to first be diverse. And from divers, because it's all underwater, what is Marcos? Marcos are operating the professionals over land. They can operate from air, and they also have to operate underwater. So all the three spheres, all the three domains have to be covered. Now, the first thing starts with the diving. Diving is a 32 weeks course.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's one of the most mentally and physically tough courses in the world. For 32 weeks, you're just doing that. You are underwater. You're learning lots of things. And there are various aspects, in the diving that you do. There is underwater explosions you learn about. You learn about diving in compressed air. You learn about diving in oxygen. You dive in oxygen in near freezing waters for hours and hours together.
Wow.
It's no joke to remain under, near freezing water for almost 5 to 6 hours continuously. You just come up, the set, the diving set that you use, the compensator. The gas gets over in 2 hours or so, and you come out, change the set, and you have, 3 endurance. So we call it an endurance. Once you change the set, after 2 hours, quickly change the set again. So thrice in a day in 24 hours, 6 hours under, chilled waters. And a lot of people end up, having problems with temperatures. Many people, in fact, cannot do it. And so that is one part of it. And after you have completed your diving course, you go on to do your Marcos course.
Okay.
You first do your diving and then Marcos. So in Marcos, again, you have, it's physical ragada, mental ragada. And of course, besides this physical and mental ragada, you got to, have a pen and book also along with you, because the staff is teaching you. Your
Yes.
stars are teaching you, and you have to, learn that as well. And yes, Marcos course is again, it's 8 months long course in which you do chariot diving, you do parajumps, you do skydiving, you do duck drops. Duck drops is, being able to jump from the aircraft into the water
Okay.
along with the parachutes into the water. You would have heard of, jumping with the parachutes on the
Correct, sir.
land,
Correct, sir.
parajumps. But here we are jumping into the sea
So how does
or
that
into the
work, sir?
water.
Like so you leave the parachute, or the parachute is designed in a way that
No. You disconnect.
you
You
disconnect.
disconnect. Yeah, you disconnect the parachute, and we have dropped inflatable Gemini's craft, and you board that once you get into those Geminis, and you peel off for your operations. So these are the kinds of things that you end up doing. And Hell Week, yes, of course, Hell Week is something nobody can ever forget. But you don't remember anything when you're doing things that you're doing in automation.
Correct, sir.
You're sleep deprived. You're hungry. You're not getting anything. You go wonky, and yet you're given a task to be to perform. So it's challenging. It's very challenging. You have something called mud walk. Mud walk is you have thigh deep. You go into it and you crawl.
Understood.
It's almost about 800 to 1,000 meters. You have to do that crawling. You can't recognize who next to you, and you're all panting and you're just hoping like hell that when is it going to get over. So that's the kind of things. And then you have those regular speed marches, 8 kilometers, 20 kilometers, 40 kilometers speed marches, along with all your weight, rifle, and everything to be done not just like that, but in specific time. So it's tough. It's very tough. So I must tell you this, that the attrition rate. See, because when somebody is looking at the training from outside, he says, "Oh wow, what kind of people these are! I also should be able to do it. I also can do it." But so a lot of people, volunteer for it. But when they come, they find, we have a lot of attrition happening.
So how much is
Almost,
the selection rate, sir? How many out
almost
of
80, almost 80% is,
the attrition?
they leave.
Wow.
80% leave. They cannot sustain. It's difficult.
And so So which is the toughest part in that training, do you think, and which is the most exciting part during the training? Is it the like, I'm sure there are adventures as well, like these are adventurous activities, but the hell week or the mud walk that you're talking about, or the diving where you have to stay inside the water 6 hours being that chill. So in during those time, what is the motivating factor which tells you nahi karna hai, nahi lage rehna hai, karna hai? What motivates you, sir, at that point?
No, that motivation has to be, you have to be motivated yourself. You have to be motivated yourself. Me, I have to do it, and I'm here for this only. I love doing it. You have to have the love of it. You have to have the passion for it. If you don't have love for it, if you don't have the passion for it, all these difficult things, you enjoy it. Frankly speaking, जब पसीना आता है, तो मजा आता है. जब कहते हैं ना वॉट लगती है, तो और भी ज्यादा मजा आता है. So it's like that. So, but if you don't have that kind of psychology or that kind of a makeup for yourself,
That's
I
so
don't think.
interesting, sir. That is really interesting. Like, that gives us a whole new perspective to challenges. कि challenges को मजे में लो, मतलब, I think.
Yes, absolutely. You have to enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, वो एक कहते हैं ना, do what you enjoy and enjoy what you do.
Correct, sir. Correct.
So it's like that. You have come there, and if I would say that all those who go back are probably not motivated themselves. You have to motivate yourself to do something. There is something called mini submarine, which is also a part of the Marcos course, wherein it's a two-man submarine kind of a thing. And you have to go underwater, and it's got all the navigation systems. Everything is there. It's open to water.
Okay.
Yeah, it's open. You're not enclosed.
Okay.
You're subjected to the ambient pressures
Pressure.
and all the vagaries of the sea. Sometimes when you come up, waves are so big, thappad padte hain waves ke. Literally, you get hit so badly by the waves that it's like a smack on your face. So you have to enjoy that as well. Sun, no sun, rain, no rain, kuch bhi hai, you have to be at it. There are times in diving course, the instructor will say, okay, we have done, after 6 hours of diving, he'll say, okay, are you guys hungry? Of course you're hungry after 6 hours of that, grueling time that you're having. Of course. All right. He says, off mask, putting on the mask, that breathing mask, and he'll throw a pakoda or a, samosa at you. Okay, hold. And he'll give you that, that's the break. You have it while you're floating on water, on the surface. Have that, get ready for another dive. So those are the kinds of things, you enjoy. You don't look for, oh, I must sit on the table and, have my, 6 course or 4 course or 3 course meals. No, it's not that. खाना मिला तो खाया, नहीं मिला कोई बात नहीं. काम करना है. Do your job. Finish your target. जो आपको टारगेट मिला है, चाहे सोए ना सोए, खाए ना खाए, टारगेट खत्म होना चाहिए. So that is the mentality that you need to have.
So diving or jumping from a plane in itself is a very extreme activity. Being like, you have to be like handling such high pressures at the bottom of the sea, staying in like complete darkness. And people who are doing diving as an adventurous activity, they are only doing it for their passion and for the courage. But you are doing it, you have to perform a lot of things at the bottom of the seabed, be it diffusal of mines or other repair activities, or so ho- in that way you have, diving must come naturally to you after a point, or or jumping from a plane must come naturally after a point. How is that experience? Like, how does it feel when you're at the bottom of the sea, or when you're just about to jump from the aircraft? What is the last thoughts there?
Now, you talked about pleasure diving.
Correct, sir.
You may call it scuba diving. That
Correct.
is which people generally do from adventure point of view. They want to see the reefs and they want to see the corals and they
Correct,
want
sir.
to see the fish. So that is scuba diving, and that is probably limited to not more than 10 meters
Correct,
or
sir.
even lesser than that. Now here we have ship diving, we have clearance diving, we have saturation diving.
Okay, sir.
3 types of diving we have. And in that, the ship diving is up to 35 meters. You dive up to 35 meters. And in clearance diving, you dive up to 55 meters.
How dark is it there, sir? How dark is that?
Uh, at 55 meters, yes, it's nil visibility. It's nil visibility at 55 meters. And above that, of course, it depends upon the sun's rays, how deep they penetrate. And, if the waters are clearer, probably you can see up to 10 meters, 15 meters, you may be able to see. But beyond that, it goes and getting dark. The clearance divers, they have another role. It's, as the name suggests, it's clearance diving, and you dive clandestinely
Okay.
using oxygen sets. In these oxygen sets, you do not dive beyond 6 or 7 meters
Okay.
because oxygen gets toxic beyond that. So you have to ensure that you do not, by mistake, go beyond 7-8 meters at the most. 7 meters is the maximum that you should go, and beyond that, then you'll start having various kind of central nervous system problems. So that is one, and you're supposed to be carrying, explosives along with you. Swimming, carrying explosives, and place them where they are required to be placed clandestinely without leaving a bubble in the air or on the surface.
So how do they and how long do they have to be there? Approximate how long is the dive, clearance dive?
See, I just told you, that the diving set lasts for around 2 hours,
Correct, sir.
and we practice 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours in 3 endurances.
Correct,
So
sir.
you practice for more than 6 hours continuously changing the diving sets. Of course, there's also a saying, that goes, the more you work during peacetime, the less you will bleed
Correct, sir.
during war. So obviously, so you have practiced, and of course, when you're carrying out an operation, the tension and the fatigue is much more that you would face in 1 hour than you would have faced that in 6 hours of peacetime diving. So the 2 hours is more than enough window for you to actually carry out your task. And in case you need more, of course, then you'll have to change the diving set.
So has it ever happened like during your divings? I'm sure you must have done hundreds of dives or if not more. So has it ever come to a situation where you've actually feared your life in terms of something going wrong or something like that?
Yes, oh yes, oh yes, yes. You. Many times these kind of things do happen. Like I said, the mini submarine, the chariot, that's also diving. You're diving with the same kind of sets below that when you're running the chariot, and in that also you cannot leave bubbles. Now, when you're diving, and especially in Mumbai and even in Cochin, the fishing nets are there. People have
Correct.
laid fishing nets, and the chariot cannot see the fishing net. You cannot detect the fishing nets. There have been times when we get entangled in the fishing net. And believe me, it's not a joke to be able to surface by cutting those nets and you do fear for life at that point of time, whether to, control your chariot or whether to surface. Because either you control a chariot, let go the chariot, and you cut the nets, but you can't do that also. You have to have your chariot, you have to free yourself from those nets and then surface along with the chariot. You have a buddy at the back. You have to take responsibility of that person also, because it's a two-man chariots. So you have to take responsibility. So it's not only your own life, but it's life of your buddy as well, which you are responsible for. So yes, times it does happen.
Wow, sir. No, so that was really inspiring hearing about your training phase. And sir, just getting into post training, sir, where was your first commission? Which was the first, like, was it a first vessel that you were in, or how does it work for a Marcos? Where are they stationed on land bases or are they stationed on ship vessels?
Mostly the Marcos work on the land basis. We have a base in Mumbai. We have a base in Visakhapatnam. We have a base in Port Blair as well. So, we have bases, and our services require us to, do some time on board ships as well. But mostly we are on board, on land-based establishments. That is our Marcos bases, and from there you're actually deployed for various, op deployments we call them. We have, probably you are aware that, as Marcos, we do operate in Valour, we are operating at Sir Creek, things like
Yes,
that.
sir, speaking about, sir, like, definitely, sir, we wouldn't want you to disclose any Navy secrets, but so can you describe the experience of your first operations without disclosing any of the tactical or confidential things? Like, we just want to know your experience. How was your first operation? We don't want to know where it was, what it was. We just want to know how your head worked and how did it happen? How was your first, I don't know if assault or first, like a first casualty. Just wanted to get inside your head. How does a soldier's mind or a commando's or para command, a special forces mind work in that phase?
Anish, there hasn't been just one or two operations. There have been plenty of operations that I have been part of, and sometimes uh, it is a diving operations, and others the Marcos, which most infamous, I would say, was the Black Tornado, which happened in the whole world knows about it, and that, to my mind, has been the biggest and the most challenging operation that I have undertaken.
So what was the first thought, sir, when you heard about the attack? Where were you? आप कहाँ पर थे? And what was your reaction? आपको याद है when you heard about it the first time कि कुछ ऐसा हो रहा है?
Anish, it's been almost 15 years now after that operation, but yes, there are certain incidents, they are etched in the mind. And yes, uh, that particular night, 26th of November 2008, at around 8 o'clock or so, I was, it was one of my friends, dear friends' anniversary. And I was just buying certain things just next to the Leopold Cafe where this attack happened. I was there at around 8 o'clock at that time and buying things, and then went back, went to my friend's house, and there uh, the, there was on the news, something, TV news, that something has happened. And I was actually at that point of time was carrying on duties as the command's special operations and diving officer. Prior to that, I had been officer in charge of the Naval Special Warfare Training and Tactical Center for 3 years. And immediately prior to that, I had been I had the privilege of being the officer in charge of diving school as well, where
Wow.
this diving. So I have had the privilege of being the officer in charge of the diving school, where I learned my, first diving, and also the Marcos unit, where you teach the Marcos activities. And immediately after that, I got transferred. After these 6 years, I got transferred as the Command Special Operations Diving at Mumbai. And that is when this thing actually happened. So, as the Command Special Operation and Diving Officer, the moment you hear of something, happening like that on the TV, obviously you would want to get to know as to what's happening. So contacted the headquarters there and was told that there's some kind of a gang fight is going on, it seems. So I had to leave my friend. I said, sorry, bro, I have to go, and left. And I knew I was just waiting that something, koi na koi abhi call aane wala hai. And for sure, my superior officer in the command headquarters gave me a call, Katoch, pronto.
What time was that, sir? Around 8 p.m. only or a little later, sir?
No. See, these guys, the first shot that they had fired was at around, I think, 9:30 in the evening. And after that, CST and Leopold Cafe, somewhere around 9:30, they had started firing. Nobody knew what was happening. And it was at around, must be around 11:30 or so, that I got this call to, be at the headquarters immediately. So went there, and I said, okay, we need to be prepared, whatever it is. Something is happening and something dastardly is happening. And so we have in Mumbai itself, we have one PRAHAAR, which is, always stationed in Mumbai for, such activities if they happen. That is, we call it the quick reaction team. So that was there. And so I said, okay, we are prepared. But little did we know, what's happening. There was no input. There was nothing. We all just watching the TV. That's it. Then I think it is somewhere, 11 o'clock or so, 10:45 or 11 o'clock, that the state government requested for assistance from the Navy.
Okay.
You can't, as a Navy, being in the Navy, you can't just jump into any of the activities or what's happening outside. That's not your domain. That's not your part of it. You cannot straight away say, okay, I'll settle it down, unless you are there at the very center of it, because it's a state subject. It's discipline, law, and order, part of it. So we got a call at around 22:45 or around 11 o'clock from the state government for assistance. And that is the time we had to, jump. We said, okay. But now, okay, what? Okay. Where do we go? Assistance? What kind of assistance? Where? When? How much? Something is happening. Blasts are happening. Blasts कहाँ हो रहे हैं? Blasts तो Trident, overall Trident में हो रहे हैं, ताज में हो रहे हैं, Leopold में firing हो रही है. So what do we do? Where do we go? We need some directives.
So at what point did you find out कि ये gang war नहीं है? It is a full-fledged terrorist attack.
No,
At what point
we
was
did not
Delhi
know.
briefed you? कुछ
We
नहीं पता.
did not know at all. We did not know at all. Nobody told us कि क्या है. Nothing. You're just क्या, हाँ कुछ हो रहा है, कुछ लोग मर रहे हैं, पटाखे चल रहे हैं, गोलियां चल रही हैं, bombs उड़ रहे हैं. Then there was some news of some taxi being blown off. So all those things. They're listening on the TV, but nobody is giving a clear direction as to what's happening.
There was no intelligence at that point, sir.
Anish, unfortunately, zero. Zero. There may have been intelligence to various other authorities with respect to these kind of things happening, but a terrorist attack happening was not acceptable, not thought of. So, anyways, so now where do we go? So the two major hotels, Taj, and got a call that there's a explosive bag laden with explosives is lying on the reception center.
Okay.
Somebody has laid it there. And so we have a dog squad also.
Okay.
The sniffer dogs, who can sniff and all. So I being the overall, advisor to the command with respect to these operations, I had to now decide कि कहाँ पे किसको भेजना है और क्या भेजना है. So I said, all right, one Prahar can go to Trident with the dogs to check out whether there is any explosive or not. And if there is any explosive, that needs to be diffused. We have the expertise of diffusing the explosives as well.
So were you commanding them directly, sir, or were you in charge of the Prahars? Like, were you the commanding officer, or how?
See, the commanding officer was at a Marcos base, which is around 6 to 7 nautical miles away. The Bombay Channel is there.
Yes, sir.
Dockyard, and across the dockyard is the base, which is
Okay,
6 to 7 nautical miles, and that is where our commanding officer was there. I, as being the overall command special operations division officer, I had to, take charge at that particular time.
So it will not be wrong to say, sir, you were the person who led that operation of Marcos at that point.
Okay, I'll come to that. It's not exactly like that. I have my superiors above me. I need to take directives from them. So I can only advise them. So that is what I did. I said, okay, one Prahar with the dogs goes to Trident. And I said, one Prahar goes to Taj. And at Taj, like I said, that I, having had a few number of years of experience with me, I couldn't just stand there and be an onlooker. I had my superior officer who was there with me, so I requested him that sir, आप इधर नीचे रहो, मैं प्रहार को लेके जा रहा हूँ अंदर. So, and अंदर गए हम.
So I'm getting goosebumps, sir, while you're saying this. मुझे सुन के goosebumps, sir.
अंदर गए हम, and that sight was something, unspeakable. Why? People lying on the floor dead, blood marks all over, people hiding here and there, and two members of the staff, hotel staff, and two police personnel, wandering there. So I said, no, what do we do? Where do we go? Karna kya hai hame? So I just requested the staff, hotel staff, यार बताओ कि हाँ क्या है. Then he said, सर यहाँ पे कुछ लोग आए हैं एंड अंधाधुंध गोलियां चला रहे हैं. मैंने कहा वो तो मैं I can see that and I could hear the shots also. The shots were coming from above. मैंने कहा वो तो हैं, कितने लोग हैं? कहता सर पता नहीं कितने हैं. मैंने कहा क्या क्या है उनके पास? पता नहीं क्या है. मैं क्या मोटिव क्या है उनका? पता नहीं सर क्या है. मैं कहाँ से आए हैं? So Nothing. I said, no, where do I start from? Kya karun? And that was the only first time that I had gone to Taj, I think. That my first entry into Taj. Never ever I had gone to Taj. And abhi Taj kahan se dhoondna shuru karun? Where do I start? Where do I start looking for these guys? And what am I looking for? And what am I up against? So I said, okay, मेरे को एक चीज बताओ कि give me a layout of the, थोड़ा सा पता चल जाएगा कि layout of the hotel, थोड़ा सा पता चल जाएगा कि हाँ क्या है, कैसे, किधर से जाना है. He got me that architectural design of the entire Taj. मैंने कहा भाई मैं आर्किटेक्ट नहीं हूँ यार, मेरे को तो इसमें कुछ भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है. ओनली लाइंस में अभी what will I make out of it? I said, what is the next? What do we do? Then he said कि सर यहाँ पे ना एक सीसीटीवी रूम है, वहां पे आपको उनकी एक्टिविटी. मैंने कहा गुड. So that is a start point. So I told my guys, guys, get ready. We have to,
So they were 8 plus 1 of you, so total 9 of
no,
you.
we were,
One
yeah,
Prahar,
one Prahar. Prahar is 1 plus 7.
1 plus 7. Okay.
So we went, I said, okay, let's go, and took the back route. Swimming pool wala side say we started entry, and suddenly ऊपर से firing started coming. Da.
They saw
And
you.
they saw us. And बच बजाते हुए we went up to the CCTV room. CCTV room was, what do you see there? It's all smoky, all smoke and under fire.
Okay.
Nothing. You can't even open the door. Smoke is billowing out.
So they knew where CCTV room was and they went and they blasted it off first.
Anish, I'll come to that later. These guys, they had done their homework. They knew. And obvious, I think they have also been very well trained, and they knew कि okay, हाँ, CCTV is the place जहाँ से इनको पता चल जाएगा. So that is the first of the things I think they destroyed. So वो खत्म कर दिया. No, again, we are clueless. And just then we heard gunshots. I said, ये gunshots तो नीचे से आ रही हैं. We had a staff member. I must really, put it on record that this guy was a gem, fearless, who said, sir, मैं आपको ले जाऊंगा, lead करूंगा, अभी बताऊंगा कि कहाँ
So
कहाँ
can
से.
you name him, sir? Can you name that guy?
You want me to name him? Yes, he was Mr. Sunil.
Mr. Sunil.
Okay, no, you asked, so I'm naming that
No, sir,
person.
it's a show of bravery, sir. I don't think so. We should celebrate him. If as a civilian he showed that much courage.
He showed tremendous courage. In fact, let me tell you, Sunil, he was leading me. He was telling कि sir इधर से आओ, यहाँ से जाना है. Now, frankly speaking, we did not know how to go, where to go, how, कहाँ जाना क्या है. So he was saying this, and then he said कि sir ये हमारे kitchen hall के पास से firing shots आए हैं. गए, and the kitchen alleyway, there's an alleyway, dining, वो kitchen hall है, and around it's squarish kind of as I remember, squarish kind alleyway है उसके चारों तरफ और तीन तरफ. And when there are people, again, bodies lying on the floor, some dead, some injured, some crying, किसी के फोन बज रहे हैं, कोई बोल रहा है इसको मेरे ऊपर से हटा दो, प्लीज हटा दो, मैं मर जाऊंगी. Those kind of things are happening. You do not know what to do. And suddenly then, right in front of me, the three guys appear.
In the kitchen, sir?
In the alleyway.
Alleyways.
They saw me. Prahar was right behind me. They saw, and Sunil had taken a step forward towards the other alleyway because he was ahead of me. So he had moved ahead towards other side, and these guys were coming perpendicular to my direction. So Sunil moved away, and I was right in front of them. But now I had my fingers on my trigger, but there are people between those guys and me, and I can't shoot through those guys. And unfortunate, we had those guys fired, and जो हमारे बीच जो लोग थे, they also lost their lives. And obviously, then they were right now. People were falling. I couldn't have taken any shot. Then these guys threw a grenade at us. And I said, okay, that's the end of us. However, we took small positions, made smaller targets, smaller positions. Kept looking at the grenade, and fortunate that the grenade did not blow off, even after 10 seconds. So fortunate that it didn't blow off, and I'm here. My people, my Prahaar was safe. And that 10 to 15 seconds was more than enough for these people to break contact. And then they had seen us, nice and proper. And I had also seen them, nice and proper, 3 of these
Sorry,
guys.
what does break contact exactly means for our
Break
viewers?
contact is that, we are facing each other. I am not able to fire, they are firing at me. And all of a sudden, when he throws a grenade at me, I take a, small position, and making use of that time period when I'm not looking at him, he's vanished.
Okay. Understood.
He's vanished. All the 3 vanished. But now,
So did you see their faces at that point? आपको उनकी शक्ल उस टाइम दिख गई थी, मतलब at that point, मतलब
they're carrying rucksacks and बंदूकें हैं, और शक्लें कौन, who is interested in शक्लें at that time?
Correct.
You're only looking at the guys कि okay, हाँ, जिसके पास मार्कोस के अलावा अगर किसी के पास और बंदूक है तो उसको उड़ा देना है. And वो भी ताज में at that point of time. So the shakal wakal was immaterial at that point of time. You only saw कि okay, हाँ, ये 3 लोग हैं. And so now, but I had that encouragement कि मिल गया ये यहीं पे आसपास. We started searching for them in that kitchen area. And kitchen area में, lot of structures are there. And it's quite huge. Abhi, you have to be a little careful also as to, पता चले आप ढूंढते ढूंढते सामने वो, कहता आ जाओ, धार उड़ा देगा. So you have taking due precautions. You are carrying out a search of, tables के पीछे, chairs के पीछे, कोई, whatever things were, they were searching around behind them. There were curtains, I think, curtains के पीछे देख रहे हैं. Wall, curtain के पीछे हटाया और उसने चला दी. So, you're taking all those precautions. It's a very slow, progress. And it must have taken quite some time. And in this time, when we were searching for these guys, I said, कि ये काम तो, because now you have seen so many bodies lying here and there. There is, mayhem. So जो मेरे superior officers थे नीचे, मैंने उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया कि सर asked for more prahars. And he said he had already sent the message and they are coming. जब ढूंढ रहे थे, suddenly again gunshots from somewhere else. What is this happening here? So again, and that time Mr. Sunil was nowhere.
Okay.
उस ढूंढने के चक्कर में Mr. Sunil was, not seen. Now I started getting कि यार उधर से भी firing हो रही है, यहाँ पे भी बंदे हैं. What do we do?
And it was really dark. Sir, वहाँ पे भी मतलब कुछ it was, I'm sure it was at night time and lights were off, or was there lights?
No. It was well lit.
Okay, it was well lit. Okay.
The kitchen was well lit. Everything was well lit. So I said कि now ये कहाँ से आवाजें आ रही हैं, जाना कैसे है उधर? So he said, then I got this thing, a call from the PRAHAAR, which had, come by then, the additional PRAHAAR. So he said कि sir हम नीचे हैं and सुनील यहाँ पे है.
Okay.
And सुनील कह रहा है कि यहाँ पे चैम्बर हॉल एक जगह है, वहां से ये लोग वहां पे हैं. मैंने कहा डन, उसको सराउंड करो चैम्बर हॉल को. वेंट टू सुनील. सुनील सेड कि सर इस चैम्बर हॉल के साथ में एक और हॉल है जहां पे अ लार्ज नंबर ऑफ गेस्ट्स आर सिटिंग. दे आर हडल्ड, सब बैठे हुए हैं. एंड बाय चांस, एंड दिस इज इन द टावर, ताज टावर में है ये. सो एंड ही सेज कि अगर ये इस तरफ से होटल की तरफ से तो आएंगे नहीं, ये बाहर बालकनी की तरफ से अगर चले गए बाय चांस और दूसरे हॉल में चले गए, लाशें बिछ जाएंगी, बिकॉज दे विल ओपन फायर इनडिस्क्रिमिनेटली एंड लार्ज नंबर ऑफ पीपल आर सिटिंग देयर. और कहाँ कहाँ से क्या क्या एग्जिट्स हैं? कहते सर एग्जिट इसी का बाहर की तरफ से ही है, बालकनी की तरफ से, which faces the gateway of India. That is the time I said कि okay, और कोई एग्जिट नहीं है? He said नहीं सर, और कोई एग्जिट नहीं. मैंने कहा good. I said they are trapped. So that is the time I position people including snipers कि अगर ये बाहर निकले उस रास्ते से बालकनी की तरफ से towards to go to the other side of the hall, इनको निकाल देना. So position snipers at the gateway of India and some other places.
Those snipers were also Marcos, or they were ATS or something?
Marcos. तो उनको अभी मेरे को ये हो गया था कि हमने घेर लिए. एंड देन वी वेंट टू द नेक्स्ट हॉल जहां पे ये लोग बैठे हुए थे. आई सेड ये तो टेररिस्ट तो अभी फंस गए हैं, अब कहीं नहीं जा सकते. मैंने कहा कम से कम इनको निकालो अभी लोगों को. So we started removing those people from there. उनको बाहर निकाला. And then
कितने लोग थे सर approximately there, if you have approximate numbers?
there would have been more than 100.
Wow, so
वो निकाले वहां से. And then it again, you keep revisiting कि now अब what should I do next? So the next best thing was, I knew that the people are lying severely injured, wounded. अगर उनको timely वो मिल जाता है, aid मिल जाता है, they can probably will have lesser number of casualties. So I said, okay, now we were 3 prahars. So I said one प्रहार तो आप इसको सराउंड करके रखेंगे, एंड बाकी 2 प्रहार जो हैं वो इनको निकालो, अभी लोगों को निकालो, बचाओ. Anish, we till around 7:30 we would have removed about 200 plus people, including those from the hall. from rooms, we started going to the rooms. And again, Sunil was there. Sunil knew कि कौन कहाँ पे है. He was something extraordinary. This guy led us, sir, इस room में ये है. People had, barricaded their doors with chairs and tables, etc. So he would say कि, he would call out and बता के कि मैं so and so हूँ, दरवाजा खोल दीजिए, आपको बचाने आए हैं. So they would then open the door, and then likewise, along with, and there was firemen also. Firemen also had joined us. So उनके साथ we rescued a large number of people from there. In fact, at 7 o'clock, around 7 o'clock, one of the topmost officials of Taj was also rescued.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 a.m.
6:30 to 7, around that time. Topmost official of Taj. Sunil went, he said, sir, so and so. Then he opened the door. And
so he was inside a room. So people had locked themselves inside rooms, and
yes.
And were these terrorists able to breach in the rooms? So room के अंदर घुस रहे थे क्या? मतलब कि were the rooms secure? जो rooms locked थे, were they secure? Were the guests secure उसमें?
This is later on that we have come to know. Yes, they were breaking open the rooms, going, and they were taking time. They're not just shooting. Dhad dhad maar diya. They were identifying who is who and then shooting. And it was with an intent to cause maximum damage and hurt the country the most. Like foreign nationals, picking on foreign nationals, and some other issues, which probably I may not be able to tell you here whom they were picking up. So they were choosing and killing. And so now this aspect happened. And in the meanwhile, the Prahar that was, which had surrounded the terrorists, two of the boys, they went inside that room where the terrorists were sitting, because they had seen us in the kitchen. वहां से उनको अभी वो देख लिया था उन्होंने कि हाँ सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस आ गई हैं. They may have gone there to, अभी प्लानिंग करनी होगी उन्होंने, या अपने हैंडलर्स को बता रहे होंगे कि हाँ अब ऐसा ऐसा है, लोग आ गए हैं, क्या करना है. So those kind of things. And that is the time two of our boys went in. This room was dark, and you're going from the light to the dark room. You can't see anything till the time you get, accustomed to the dark. You're totally blind. Whereas those guys, they were sitting in the dark. They could see these two guys coming in. They took shots at these two guys. One of the guys, his ear got scraped, and one bullet hit the magazine, and fragments got embedded. The other person was also injured on the shoulder. So then I got the news कि okay, हाँ यहाँ पे ऐसे हो गया. So I said at least या उनको retrieve करो, निकालो उसको. उनको निकाला हमने. And this is prior to, having rescued the people at 7 o'clock जो बताया था मैंने, वो उससे पहले वाली एक्टिविटी है ये. So जब पूरा हो गया था, अभी sun's rays had started coming around 6:30 के आसपास का टाइम होगा. That is the time we said कि okay, now is the time to barge in, क्योंकि we were told कि हाँ there is no exit. अंदर गए तो there is nobody.
Okay.
हमारे तो यू नो वी फिनिश्ड, ये क्या हुआ, ये व्हाट हैज हैपेंड। जब देखा तो देयर वर 3-4 स्टेप्स का एक यू नो कॉर्नर में, देयर आर 3-4 स्टेप्स which lead to the dining, वो जो किचन है ना,
अच्छा हाँ.
so they had come from that, उस डोर से on from those steps into this hall,
Okay.
and उसी रास्ते से वो वापस चले गए। लिटिल डिड वी नो कि हाँ वो वाला रास्ता भी हम ब्लॉक, आई मीन बाकी तो सब कुछ ब्लॉक कर लिया, अगर हमें पता होता कि वो भी एक पहले तो हमें मिले ही नहीं थे वो, तो हमें पता ही नहीं था कि गए कहाँ चले गए। एंड फिर वो जब वो रास्ता देखा, देन we did not know what to do now. So those guys are gone. But जो दो हमारे मार्कोस अंदर गए थे, they had also fired.
This is the first fire, I believe that this was the first. These were the first rounds of fire.
Yes. Yes. They had also fired in retaliation. मतलब उनको लगी, but जब उनको आवाज आई तो ट्रिगर पे तो रहता ही है, तो इट इज अ कहीं ना कहीं कुछ ना कुछ तो शायद लगेगा, अंधेरे में कुछ नहीं दिख रहा है, बट जहां से फ्रॉम कहां से आवाज आई है, तो फायर इन दैट डायरेक्शन। एंड understandably, because there was blood in that room at that point of time, and somebody and there was a rucksack. That rucksack खोला हमने, तो उसमें there were 7-8 magazines
Of
of
AK-47.
AK-47, all loaded, 30 rounds each, around 210 240 rounds वो, and 250-300 rounds अलग से, so almost around 400-500 के राउंड्स मेरे ख्याल में, अभी आई कैन नॉट रिकलेक्ट एग्जैक्टली कितने राउंड से, बट ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ राउंड्स। then there were identity cards of different countries, there were credit cards, there were currencies there uske andar, then grenades were there, and explosive was there, your खाने का सामान, ड्राई फ्रूट्स वगैरह 2.5-3 किलो ड्राई फ्रूट्स वर देयर, so those kind of things were you know there in that rucksack. फिर वो we took that rucksack, that was the same, and by then ये करते करते लोगों बाकी, then the point to be see noted here is कि we entered at around say कितने 1240 or so, 1245 के आसपास हम एंटर किए। आफ्टर दैट देयर हैव बीन maybe few shots heard, जो मैंने बोला था ना कि पहले तो उन्होंने ऊपर से मारा, वो हमें मारे थे, फिर उन्होंने वो शॉट्स मारी उन्होंने किचन के पास,
Correct.
एंड फिर 1-2 शॉट्स मारी उन्होंने उधर चैम्बर हॉल में।
Correct.
So this is all that they fired at that, in from 12:30-1 से लेके till the time we were there. So then we started, now अभी पता नहीं चल रहा था कि कहाँ कहाँ ढूंढेंगे हम, and we were कितने 2-3 प्रहार थे टोटल, 3 प्रहार के साथ it was virtually, and कितने Taj has got I think 600 odd rooms and some 40 odd suites, so to start off हमें तो ये भी नहीं पता था कि कौन आ रहा है, कहीं आ रहा है, कि हमने तो यही सोचा था कि हमें,
हम ही करना।
तो नो वी सेड कि पहले सब लोगों को निकाल देते हैं, लेट्स रिमूव एवरीबॉडी, वेकेट करते हैं हॉल इसको, ताज
Suppose
को।
the ground आपके कंट्रोल में था, ग्राउंड फ्लोर वाज इन योर कंट्रोल, आई
यस
बिलीव।
यस, तो वी सेड कि ओके अभी सारा सब कुछ काफी खाली कर दिया था, आई जैसे मैंने बताया अराउंड 200 200 250 लोग को निकाल चुके थे ऑलरेडी बाय देन we sat down to and तभी ये प्लान किया कि ओके अभी सभी को निकालते हैं. बाय देन माय सुपीरियर जो नीचे थे उन्होंने बोला कटोच एनएसजी हैज आल्सो कम एंड they will take over the operations.
So इस टाइम
And
तक से you had recovered a lot of people. आपने initially पूरी रखी like it was the source of information, the intelligence was Marcos, I think, जिन्होंने सब सारे agencies को feed किया. And I believe even the bag was a very crucial point जहाँ से actual में पता चला कि ये कौन है.
Anish, there are a few things that I would want to share with you is this that एक तो हमारे जाने के बाद ये वो कहते हैं ना कि the hunters became the hunted kind.
Correct.
So we were going after them, and they were thereafter, changing their places, going here and there, trying to save themselves. And they had probably because हमने खाली कर रहे थे कमरों को, उनको सराउंड भी किया हुआ था. They were in a fix कि ओके अभी जाएं तो कहाँ जाएं और किसको मारें अभी.
एंड मार्कोस को देख के डर गए होंगे सर लाइक द कमांडो जब वो लुक में आता है सर लाइक आई थिंक वो लुक ही काफी है मतलब उनके लिए.
uh, that I do not know, but definitely yes, it did happen that the killing had stopped. The killing had stopped, mm, and we could rescue a large number of people. And जो लोग they were page 3 and
अंडरस्टूड
famous
सर.
personalities also were there. uh, हमने भी काले कपड़े पहने हुए थे, एनएसजी वालों ने भी काले कपड़े पहने हुए थे. The uniform is almost the
करेक्ट
same.
सर.
So many people went on thinking ये एनएसजी ने ही उनको
अच्छा.
बचाया है, but not to take away anything from that. It is obvious. It is बच गए तो लाखों पाए types.
वेरी
So
ट्रू सर.
that is what happens, and who saves you. चलो बच बच बचा सके, that was more important.
सर जब आपको पता चला एनएसजी इज हियर वाज इट फीलिंग ऑफ रिलीफ कि मतलब रिलीफ तो क्या मतलब मार्कोस इज वेरी मच केपेबल टू कंडक्ट दैट ऑपरेशन
No,
वाज इट
no,
कि
Anish,
खराब लगा.
I was a little disappointed.
डिसअपॉइंटमेंट वो वही से.
I was a little disappointed कि uh, खाली तो हो गया अभी होटल.
अब आ रही.
होटल तो खाली कर दिया अभी, लोग पीपल हैव बीन evacuated, the hotel has been evacuated. अब उनको मेरे को पकड़ना है इन
पकड़ है.
लोगों को. It may be a matter of time, but sure I'll get them. That was there in my कि अब छोड़ूंगा नहीं इनको. But then नहीं,
तो सर जस्ट जस्ट
it's
हमारे ऑडियंस को इंटेंसिटी समझ में आए सो उसके लिए आई एम जस्ट सो अंटिल नाउ ऑलमोस्ट 7 to 8 hours you've been inside of that horrendous like place where that is under control and you as a person are controlling 3 prahars and taking to those calls and crucial decisions which जिन्होंने जिसने सेव करा इतने सारे लोगों को पीपल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड हु दे आर हियरिंग लाइक यू नो दैट इज अ वेरी सर लाइक वी आर लाइक आई मस्ट आई डोंट नो सर हम आपको कैसे क्या कर सकते हैं बट लाइक अगर टुडे सो मेनी लाइव्स एट द एंड सो दोज वर योर कॉल्स वो आपके डिसीजंस थे जिसकी वजह से आज इतने सारे लोग अपने फैमिलीज के पास वापस जा पाए किन काफ़ी बच्चे होंगे काफ़ी फादर्स होंगे मदर्स होंगे डॉटर्स होंगे एंड सर वो लाइफ की तो कीमत इज देर इज नो प्राइस इट्स प्राइसलेस तो सर देर इज नो डाउट अबाउट योर रोल एंड मतलब आई डोंट थिंक सो सर देर इज एनीथिंग लार्जर यू कैन एवर वन पर्सन कैन एवर डू more than saving anyone's life so like it makes me emotional when I'm saying this but it is a very it's a very heavy feeling sir.
Anish,
And sir, I'm still feeling honored to be able to talk to a personality like you. I'm not just saying this for the sake of the podcast, sir. मतलब just it is an inspiration कि मैं सुन पा रहा हूँ. हमें जो भी हमने करा हम उसकी वजह से आपको सुन पा रहे हैं ये ही एक बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है सर.
Anish, this is the first ever time that I have spoken like this uh, on camera after my uh, press conference on 27th, which I gave during this operation. And I too, even today, get very emotional because
I cannot even imagine. मतलब हम बहुत छोटे हैं सर. मतलब मतलब आप लोगों ने जो करा है उसके सामने मतलब I don't think so.
it's seeing so many bodies lying there, and the worst is people are injured and they're crying out for help कि प्लीज मेरे को हेल्प करो, प्लीज उठाओ मेरे को, एंड उनके ऊपर खून लगा हुआ है, उनके ऊपर एक डेड बॉडी पड़ी हुई है. If it were an operation involving a normal war where you know I have to see enemies or some bodies lying there, it wouldn't have mattered. But seeing the civilian guests who, for no rhyme or reason, lost their lives, and those who were crying out, my heart goes out to them, and I wish that we could have been called in a little more earlier. Maybe अगर 1 घंटा 1.5 घंटा और पहले हमें अंदर बुला लिया होता, we could have saved.
सर गुस्सा था उस टाइम सर. मतलब एंगर था आप लोग में. वाज इट लाइक बहुत रे मतलब और वाज इट मतलब हाउ वाज द फीलिंग. मतलब गुस्सा आ रहा था उन लोगों पे टेररिस्ट पे. मतलब व्हाट वाज द फीलिंग.
Anish, you at that point of time, there is no emotion. There is no emotion. You are like a robo at that point of time. You have only one task. क्या करना है? Emotions का वहां पे कोई रोल नहीं है. It is the aftermath. Then you get emotional. Why did this have to happen?
What happened after that, sir? Energy came in and like what like what I believe you आप लोग उधर ही थे at the you
Yes.
guys did not leave the site. We
No,
might
we
be
were there. We were there. You can't straight away again like just walking into an operation. And fortunately now, the dirtiest time or the worst time we had seen at that, till then, that the darkest
initial hours.
hours जिसे कहते हैं वो
Hmm.
देख लिए थे. And the civilians had also, the guests had also been taken out. So it was now left for the energy to, right? अभी आप करो, निकालो इनको. You are much larger in number.
So yeah, 1 minute if you can speak about NSG and their capability for such an operation, it would be helpful for the audience.
Yeah, NSG also national security guards. They have NSG two sets. They have NSG Special Action Group, SAG, and the Special Reserve
Is it?
Group. So the action group carries out the offensive activities, or carries out your anti-sabotage, anti-terrorist activities, etc. And so this group of NSG who are there from army, deputation from army. They are there in NSG for 2 to 3 years or 3 to 4 years, and they are very well trained. They are capable of doing astounding things. They were the ones who landed on the Nariman house, slithered down there, and were able to, rescue those people from there. In that process, in fact, one of their Jawans also lost life. So one of the most capable forces again in the world is NSG. You can carry out any kind of an operation. Probably yes. Underwater happens to be the Marcos domain, but the urban warfare is of course the NSG's domain.
Understood, sir. And sir, in I think energy operation also did take a lot many hours. And till what point were you personally involved there, sir, in terms of assisting energy, briefing them, or
This
did you
operation
hand over
last,
it to the energy commanding officer? Were you the person who handed over
yes. This operation lasted for about 59 hours. The first 9 hours was by the Marcos, and the next 50 hours was just around about there. Don't exactly go by
Of course.
minutes. So the last 50 hours was by the NSG. I handed over to the officer in charge there at around 9:30, explaining him the entire details, whatever we had carried out, and with respect to number of people that we have seen, and that RUCKSACK had given them quite a bit of
Information.
as to what they were going to face. And this was in Taj, and at Trident also there was another officer who was with me earlier, who was working with me, who was my staff officer in the headquarters. He was at the Trident. He also played his role in trying to, rescue. He also rescued large number of people there, and he handed over to the NSG at Trident.
So उसके बाद से when was the time after that you went to Taj? मतलब उसके बाद आप कभी next आप कब गए थे, and when did you revisit these memories? It's been 15 years.
Actually speaking, मेरी memories ताज के, if I go there, तो मेरे को वही याद आएगा जो मैंने देखा है. Unfortunately, I don't have very good memories of Taj, and I have never visited Taj after that.
That is a statement. So मतलब that tells how your mind emotionally आप कैसा feel करते हो उसके बारे में, that you still not been able to go to that place. How that tells us how dark that side is.
Because I know if I go there, those memories will again, flashback. I will know कि okay, कौन कहाँ पे कैसे क्या बोल रहा था और कैसे कैसे रो रहे थे.
So how was the debrief, sir? इससे main क्या learnings मिले as in operationally? हम कहाँ इंडिया में as an intelligence हम कहाँ गलत गए, as a मुंबई पुलिस हम कहाँ गलत गए सर, as a country? What were the key learnings, sir, इस पूरे चीज में, sir?
Unfortunately, 2001 में दिल्ली में भी पार्लियामेंट पे अटैक हुआ था, and that was also one major attack. And उसके बाद 2006 में भी बॉम्बे में अटैक्स हुए थे. उससे पहले 93 में भी अटैक्स हुए थे. तो these attacks have been quite, होते रहे हैं, 5 10 साल के बाद होते रहे हैं. And unfortunately, we haven't, been able to get all our agencies together. We haven't been. Now, of course, 26/11 के बाद scenario has changed.
No, correct, sir. Of course.
26/11 के बाद lots of things have changed. Centers बन गए हैं, इंटर एजेंसीज का कोऑपरेशन का प्रोटोकॉल बन गया है, जॉइंट ऑपरेशन सेंटर्स बन गए हैं, वेयर you given information to each other, share information with each another. Synergy has improved. You started exercising together. The civil, paramilitary, and the military forces have started exercising. There's a Quach program under which exercises take place with inter-agencies. So things have improved. But prior to that, and one more aspect is that, this int used to come. Abhi ye hoga, yahan pe likely hoga, likely. But there is something when they say, the actionable intelligence, that is important. You don't just give riff-raff, trying to, keep a yardam clear. No, that's not the thing. You have to analyze the int. What kind of int? At various levels, this intelligence needs to be analyzed. And, then thereafter passed on to the agencies who can take necessary action. That was one. Other was the equipment. The railway police, RPF.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say, did not have the weapons to deal with, and if I am not wrong, there was some hint about such operation taking place, but again it just went off the air and just it was taken like any other hint. So we need to be a little careful about what kind of intelligence you're passing, and the units today, the agencies today need not to have one upmanship. You rather synergize yourself, be together, and maybe project your requirements. You have the joint sales, project your requirements. What are your requirements? And get them. We have the national security cabinets where they are willing to go whatever length of this thing you want, they will provide. But at our end also, at the agencies end, you need to get together and start working together. It's forget about agencies. It's even you and I, individuals. It's not that security is only the security agency's job. It is it's everybody's business.
Yes, sir.
Today, if we have to stand in a line for showing our identity card somewhere, we get so badly kicked off. Come on, don't you know me? Don't I come and go from here every day? Don't you recognize me? So we need to be patient and bear with the securities. If you see anything, must be able to report at the right place, such that the agencies then thereafter can work and mitigate the problem.
No, sir, that is really insightful, sir. And I think we will leave the learnings here open to interpretation for the audience. You have been very descriptive about the story. आपने बहुत in-depth experiences share करे हैं. And we don't want to generally, so we conclude by I always ask I request the speakers to share their final learnings, but in this case, sir, I don't think so we should do that. Like, we wanted to be open to interpretation because this is a very it is very intense, sir, and everyone would perceive it differently. And with that, sir, I would like to thank you for taking out so much time and sharing these thoughts. It is really insightful, and I'm sure a lot of people who are having bad days, who think जो अपनी life में छोटी सी problem को समझते हैं, they end up taking bad decisions in their lives, or when they hear such things, they will definitely get motivated that if someone like you or the Marcos or the forces can do so much, go into a place where there is so uncertainty, तब हम अपना bit तो कर ही सकते हैं, so as to stay motivated. So any final thoughts you would want to share before we end this?
Like I said, take security seriously. but enjoy life and take a chill pill. Like
Thank you,
this.
sir. Thank you, sir. Let me pause the recording on that note.